Hey everyone, this is Shakti from Around the Wicket, where we not only speak about the game, but we try to learn more about the humans behind our sport. And today we are joined by the wonderful Mel Jones. Mel's very well known in the cricketing community. She's played for the Australian national women's cricket team till mid 2000s. She's now applying her trade all over the world with the commentary team, whether it's the IPL, the BBL, or international cricket, wherever you'll see Mel around. She's also the recipient of the Order of Australia medal and currently the director on the board of Cricket Australia. So we can safely say that Mel Jones is an inspiration for almost all of us. Thank you, Mel, for joining me on Around the Wicket.
That is probably the best intro I've ever had. So I'm going to
nice.
record
I'll keep that.
And then I'll be using it many, many times. Thank you so much.
How have you been spending your time? We had a little bit of a chat before we started. How have you been spending your time in these unpredictable times?
Yeah, look, as I mentioned, I should have been just coming back from an Indian Premier League and having a quick break in Melbourne, my hometown, before going off to England for 3.5 months with a contract with Sky Sports. So that's been completely thrown out the window. And as I mentioned to you, I'm not too sure if someone should look forward to this or not, but it'll be my first winter in Melbourne in many, many years. Wow. So the online shopping thing is going to get a little bit of a hammering, I think, to try and some as Melburnians do, some winter black. We've got to dress in black, so it'll be black coats. So that's my life for the next couple of months, which is different. No one wants to be in this kind of situation, but at the same point in time, it gives you time, doesn't it? You've got time to think about things and do other things, and so I'm actually really enjoying a little bit of downtime in a sense. And you look after yourself sometimes a little bit better, and hopefully everyone's doing the same.
If it makes you feel better, here in Sydney as well, it's pretty ugly, very cold, raining.
You're not supposed to say that. As a Melburnian and a Sydney side, we're supposed to banter about what city's better, and you're supposed to be pumping it up. So
I'll say overwhelmingly, Melbourne is a better city than Sydney.
Blasphemy!
I might edit this.
Driven out of town. I have a spare room. There we go. You'd be right.
Tell me about your cricketing journey. I mean, you were born in England. You moved to Australia. When did cricket clash paths with yourself?
Well, as I've mentioned this a few times in interviews, my dad's from Trinidad in the West Indies, and my mum's from Australia. So I don't think cricket was ever not going to be part of the scheme. And my grandparents were in Rutherglen, which is a very small country town in Victoria on the border of New South Wales. It's known for its fantastic wines, particularly fortified wines, if anyone's into ports and the like. And they had a big backyard. So, male cousins, one female cousin, she wasn't really into cricket. So, but she sat and watched and, played when she liked. But it was, so it was just the really stereotypical
in the DNA
in a way. So the thing was though with my mum being from the Aussie side, was that all my male cousins were Australia playing in the backyard, and my dad being of West Indian heritage, I was the solo West Indian. So if I went out early in the day's play, I was just bowling and bowling. And bowling and bowling and bowling. So, so funnily enough, I actually started off as a bowler in my like state sort of career sort of thing. So, but it was just fun times. Like I'm looking across, because we now Zoom. We don't call any times for interviews at the moment. Just looking across to my wall, and
nice.
this is what I have on my on my little board, which that's awesome. Reminds me of why you play the game. It's backyard cricket. It's you bat your ball and just you make up your own rules, and that, to me, at the essence of it all, that's what cricket's about.
Yeah, my first initiation was in 1999 when I moved from Fiji to Australia, and first day we stayed at our uncle's place, and we hit the ball. We were playing with the hard cricket ball, and it demolished his entire glass wall. So we were kicked out 2 days later. So I can remember my childhood backyard days as well. So you've
Brilliant,
watched
isn't
a
it?
lot of cricket. In terms of female cricket and the growth and development, what's the difference like when you first started playing cricket to now? Yeah, in terms of exposure and the growth.
Yeah. It is just a completely different space, isn't it? Like some girls will grow up still playing backyard cricket, particularly at this time when we're all in a little bit of isolation and lockdown.
Yeah.
But I drive around the streets and I don't see kids playing in the street where you have to pull the rubbish bin off the road because a car's
Yes.
coming through, or
That's right.
those, or playing in the school yards and things like that. So you don't see that as much anymore, which is, to me, is absolutely heartbreaking, because that's the beauty of it all. So that's changed massively, and I grew up watching the Australian men's team play against the West Indies or England and the like. So I only ever thought that there was an Australian men's cricket
Men's
team.
team.
Had no idea women played. And there was this beautiful history of women's cricket that had passed and was going on at the time that we just didn't hear about or see about because of the lack of media coverage. If you jump on my Twitter, I just posted a couple of days ago this fantastic footage of the Australian women's cricket team touring England.
Yep, I saw that.
In 51. Yeah, and there's crowds at this game and people cheering, and it's fantastic. Yet I never saw that as a kid. So my whole premise as a kid growing up was I was going to kick Alan Border out of the middle order of the Australian men's team because I thought I was going to be good enough. Not that I batted in the backyard, I just bowled, so I should have probably been kicking Dennis Lilly out. But that was my take on the world of cricket, which I loved, but it had no representation of women in any sense, other than occasionally, my mum sitting next to me at the MCG when I dragged her along to take me to a game. So it has changed exponentially, and particularly probably in the last 5 years since the WBBL came into existence, and then all of a sudden it's on television. It's getting into the homes of people right across the country, right across the world. Then we had the World Cup at Lords in 2017, which was a magnificent game, and that got just spread across the place. And then we had a wonderful day of March 8, and then that changes things yet again. So, it's the game has been around for so long, but it's only now, just in the last 5 years, that everyone's like, oh, women's cricket. I guess I'm saying better late than never.
Yeah, I had a chat with Danny White yesterday, and she was telling us about the 2017 World Cup and
Amazing day.
How impressive that was. Tell us about your debut in 1998, against the country of your birth, and you still hold the world record in terms of the highest score in a debut innings of 131, unless anyone has beaten it, and I haven't done my research.
They have, sadly, but the beautiful thing is that it was another Aussie, so I'm A-OK with that. So Michelle Gosgo, it wasn't that long after she hit 204.
204 debut. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Right, Gossie. Curse her. So I had the record for a little while. Not that anyone really knew about it, but look, it was an amazing thing because, as I just mentioned, I grew up on men's cricket. So men's cricket back in the day, and it still is now, the Ashes, and I was one of my highlights of my work career was working on the Ashes last year over in England, and that's what you grew up on. You watched, Warne with Ball of the Century, staying up late at night on television, or you'd go down to the MCG and you'd see, Gadding and Gladstone Small and all these, guys, and you just be going, this is fantastic. So for me and for everyone playing in that team, you grew up wanting to wear a baggy green, and to have the opportunity of not just putting the baggy green on, but the vest as well, the coat of arms, and you're walking out playing England in an Ashes series was just the most magical time. It was just, dream. You take yourself back to backyard at Unanimous Palms playing Rutherglen, and that's this is what you dreamed of. Like, here you are steaming in. Not that I was bowling at that stage, I was a batter at that stage, but you're like,
Steaming in with the bat.
what you dreamed of. Like, yeah, you're walking out going, hang on a minute, these are childhood dreams, and it's actually just happening. So you very quickly had to go snap out of it, Jones, and get yourself into the moment.
Yeah. And when did you decide to get into broadcasting? Was it an easy transition moving from, playing days to talking about cricket?
It was pure happenstance, and it was I got dropped from the Australian team. So to this day, I still ring Mark Jennings, who was the selector at the time, up and, give her a thank you for dropping me. Because at the time I was gutted and I hated it bits. But I was in England, and it was an Ashes tour, and it was when the ECB had a deal, which they still do now,
Yep.
a very long-standing, fantastic relationship with Sky Sport, and they had put into their contract that they had to do at least one women's game a year in terms of televising it. And it just started that year. I was over there. My dad still lives in London. I was over there working and travelling, and they went, well, we need someone who knows the Australian team, and said, oh, Mel Jones is over here. And they rang me up, and I'm like, no, I'm not, no. I want to be playing in this game. I'm not going to be talking about these people who are better than me. I'm not doing that. And then they said, we'll pay you 300 quid. And you got to remember, this is like early 2001. Yeah. We didn't get paid to play. I never got paid to play for Australia. And I went, 300 quid? I'm earning more than the team, the players. So I'm like, oh, tell me where, when, and what to wear. This is fantastic. And so off I went. I had no idea what I was doing. And the commentary team, if I remember correctly, was Paul Allett, former fast bowler for him, Graham Fowler, Foxy Fowler, who batted for England, Bob Willis.
Yeah, who recently just passed away,
Yeah, sadly, and gorgeous guy. And I can't remember the fourth person. Charles Colville, who'd worked in cricket broadcast for many. He didn't play for England, but was a cricketer, but was a broadcaster. And I like, Bob Willis. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And it was just, it was a surreal experience when I look back on it now, thinking that here I am, little Mel Jones, who played backyard cricket in Motherland, sitting there with the legends of the game. And I had no idea what I was doing. Most people would say I still don't. But, it was just an amazing day.
And the rest is history now. I mean, you've been commentating everywhere. So I was going to say that you have watched a lot of cricket, whether, you've played or commentated. What have been some of the more wonderful memories that, you will cherish?
Well, this interview is going to go on for another 6 hours now.
Okay, just name me two. Name me two.
Two. Oh, you
on the top of the list.
Well, look, I rewind to March 8, and you're not going to, for me personally, and for thousands, millions of people around the world, that it's hard not to beat that World Cup final at the MCG for so many reasons. And, a lot of it, part of it was about work for me, but most of it was just me being a cricketer and, a female cricketer and just a female. But International Women's Day, there was just so many amazing moments on that day from the moment you sort of woke up. And we were staying at the comms team was staying at the Pullman Hotel, which overlooks the MCG. You wake up and you open up the blinds and you're like, we're owning this ground today. I've been there for AFL finals and, Boxing Day tests and all those sorts of things. And you're like, no, today's our day. So that was ridiculously good. Yeah. And another one's going to be a weird one, not in the sense of probably people wouldn't think that I would mention this, but as I mentioned, my dad's from the West Indies. He's from Trinidad. And the first year of the Caribbean Premier League was the first time I'd ever gone to Trinidad.
Wow.
And so, to go to Queen's Park and commentate on a game, and isn't this awful? I can't remember who Trinidad, Tobago, well, Trinbago
The matches
Riders
again.
were playing against. I can't, which is awful, but it's awful, but it's also why it resonates with me, because it wasn't really about the game as such. It was about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the crowd at Queen's Park Oval is one of the most amazing crowds in world cricket. So I would always say, if you love your cricket and you want to do like I've got to go to every major ground in the world, Queen's Park Oval has to be on it, because there is a hum to the place and a music and a vibe, and you can. I'm sitting here now just sort of swaying a little bit, but there is something really magical about the place. And I've commentated at Lords and at Eden Gardens and the like, and the MCG, but there is something really, really magical about that ground. It's old school. It's fun. It's musical. There's this, and there's some pretty good cricket going on at the same time.
Amazing. Talk to us about that painting behind you, or is that an art piece behind you? Is that
the Ash Gardner original?
Yeah.
It is. So we've spoken about March 8 and the amazing game that it was. And Ash Gardner in lockdown in this COVID world has embraced Indigenous art. So she started teaching herself how to do dot painting, like the very traditional side of that art form. And so I thought to myself, and so I sort of, you follow her on Twitter, and you're friends. So, and I was thinking to myself, I wanted something really unique about the day. And so I said to her, could you do a painting about the game itself? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, I would love, because she took the winning catch. She bolted off the mid-wicket boundary and took that catch. And I said, I would love a painting that represents the day. And she said, well, okay, let's do it. So I commissioned her to produce this painting, and I don't know if we can put a photo up on the website or something, but basically it is, in the centre of it is a purple MCG, the circular MCG, but it's also got the extension of the female symbol. And then all the white dots represent the 86,174 people that were at the game. And then she's got 3 big yellow dots and 3 big blue dots, circles. And within that, individual blue and yellow dots representing all the women that have played for India and Australia in the past. And I think that, for me, that was one of the highlights of the day, because we had all the legends of the past on the ground, and then we had so many women that have played for Australia in the stand just being there, and they came from all across the country, across the world, and people who played for New Zealand and the likes, and all those sorts of things. And so it was just, and that's my place at the moment.
Ash Gardner is another inspiration for, not just Indigenous women, but all women across Australia as well. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I was going to ask you, yourself, you were talking about the role as the director on the board for Cricket Australia. What does that role involve, and what's your visions moving forward in terms of you personally and growth of Cricket Australia?
At the moment, it involves a lot of meetings. We've gone from.
Did you sign up for the right job?
Monthly meetings to weekly plus meetings at the moment, because and I say that with a smile on face. It's a horrendous time that the world's going through, and I think we've got to also recognise that Australia being an island, and New Zealand to that point as well being an island way down under, is that we have, just because of location, have almost removed ourselves physically from a lot of what's going on in the world. Last night I was chatting to friends in Mumbai and in London, and it's a completely different world for these people at the moment. So it's tough, and because you live in, like, I'm in Melbourne, and we're starting to relax things, and, go get out and about a little bit. But for the majority of the world, it is a completely different space. And so that's a lot of the conversations with Cricket Australia at the moment, is when the sporting world, the cricket world reopens. That's still, a long way off at the moment. When it does reopen, and when it does, what does it look like? And it'll be a different world. And no one's been through something like this before. So, you know, so much of the conversations at a board level, and we have a magnificently astute, intelligent group of people sitting around. So I just sit there quite dumbfounded sometimes. You know, I haven't said anything for the last hour because I'm just like, oh my God, it's amazing. But you know, we have these people, and then an exec team, and then just the broader cricket community.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful community because everyone wants the game to come back and come back better.
Yeah.
And that's the discussions at the moment, is about how we can navigate through this time, but also get back to a place where we're all just playing and enjoying the game.
What do you feel will be the impact short term, and long term as well? But you know, not just cricket, but sports in general.
Sport in general. Look, short term for sport is it's a scramble. Like, we're all trying to figure out how to get through this time with as little, basically, financial impact as possible, so that we can, you know, manage the game and get games on and people watching it and playing it and all those sorts of things, whether it's cricket or football or basketball or hockey or whatever it might be. So at the moment, you know, and I'm friends with a lot of people that are in a variety of sports. So a really good friend of mine is Peggy O'Neill, who is the president of the Brisbane Football Club, and she's just an amazing woman, full stop. But you know, you have a chat to her. Another good friend is Gerald Rector, who's CEO of Basketball Australia. So, you know, you get on a Zoom meeting just as mates catching up, and then you start chatting all things the world of sport here in Australia, but also how it impacts for basketball in particular as an international sport. And you know, you're sitting there, you're just saying, no one's ever done it before. There's no handbook that you can go to, is there? Because it's such a unique space.
Different, yeah.
So you just, in a lot of the sense, you're just going with whatever's sort of coming at you daily and just sort of reacting in a sense. But at the same point in time, you're also trying to get your future lens on and go, well, you've got a bit of an understanding of, you know, what's going to happen in the future. Well, and we've got a unique case in the sense of, well, we can actually change it a little bit. What are the things that weren't working well? And we can actually sort of go, well, let's not have them back, which is actually the exciting part of it. So as horrendous a time as it is for people, just people full stop, not just sport, hopefully it's also a time where we can actually say, hang on a minute, these are the things that we love about the sport. These are the things that weren't working, but were just intrinsically part of it because of history. These are the parts we should probably get rid of, which is actually really exciting in a sense. So what it looks like in the future, we'll have to get the crystal ball out a little bit, but hopefully sport in general, not just cricket, hopefully sport is a more diverse, inclusive space where more and more people can be involved.
Yeah. And talking about diversity and, you know, inclusions and whatever it is, one of a special part or initiative that you are involved in is the Red Dust program for Indigenous Australians. Tell us how important these type of programs are for the Indigenous community.
Look, they're critical in the sense of we've got an opportunity of working with these amazing communities and listening to them and saying, well, what do you like? What do you want? What do you need? First and foremost, it's not us coming in saying, here's a program because you know, we think we're magnificent, you know, but we've got some resources and some connections to assist you in the way in which you want your community to look like and feel like. And for me, working with Red Dust, amazing organisation that I first heard of. I was at uni, so we're going way back here.
Wow.
But they work in remote Indigenous communities, and it's a health promotion charity. So we look at utilising some key elements of sport, music, the arts, and some magnificent role models to go into communities and just hopefully change. And we're doing this because we're embedded in the community. We've been there for so long. Is that we're looking at having a positive impact on the health of communities, the physical and mental well-being of communities, and particularly addressing chronic health issues through sport, through music, through a variety of different things. So it's an amazing project. Excuse me. And I got involved with it because I was doing. I went to Victoria University and did human movement, but my health minor was in Indigenous health, and so it sort of started from back then. And then I started researching in different organisations that are doing things, and that's how I got involved with Red Dust. And look, at the moment, like everyone, we're trying to figure out what it looks like. We won't have any programs going out to communities for this year. But it's interesting. I was chatting to Scott Sterling, the CEO, yesterday, and he said Indigenous communities shut down in terms of isolation probably 4 weeks before Australia did and the rest of the world did. They were so astutely aware of what was going on that they just went, get out and stay. A little bit of both, but they're now looking at re-engaging and opening up now, whereas we're a little bit behind because it took us a little bit longer to figure all that out. So sadly no programs this year, but again, we're looking at ways in which we can engage with the communities online. The commercial world has changed exponentially. We're trying to find ways of, still finding funds to make sure that we can, positively impact these communities in the way in which they want to see. So this is the challenge for charities at the moment. Everyone's feeling the pinch, but everyone's, the majority of people out there is still wanting to do good things. So hopefully we can continue that.
Yes, we hope so as well. Well, one of the wonderful achievements that I said at the start was that you are the recipient of the Order of Australia Medal for your services with cricket and media and, in the community as well. Can you tell us, the feeling of receiving that?
I thought it was a joke. I got this. I got this random call and it went through to voicemail. And I just thought, this is just a mate pulling the leg. And so I didn't reply. And so then I got another call later, it was like a week later. And I went, oh yeah, there was that. And I was thinking to myself, oh, this is it. Because it was, I wasn't saying that you got, but it was, from a government official.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is weird. So I rang back and we played a bit of phone tag. And then when we finally hooked up, I said, are you sure? If you got, because Jones is a pretty, common name in Australia. I went, if you got the right Mel Jones, it's a pretty common name. She went, cricketer. I went, yeah. She said, yeah, no, it's you. And because you don't know who nominates you either. It's a bit of, secret squirrel. Yeah. So I'm like, oh. And I went, but this isn't like Belinda Clark has an AO. I said, so I've got an AO. Like, no, that can't be right. This is really very bizarre. And then after the conversation, because I think I got the call, it must have been about November of 2018. And then, so you have the discussion and it's all, like I said, secret squirrel. You're not allowed to tell anyone. So, of course, I told my mum. And so I rang her and I went, this is going on. She went, oh, wow. She said, that's cool. And then I forgot, because you're getting in the start of the Australian summer. And I forgot about it. And then it got through to Australia Day, as we have. And then it sort of all came out. And I sort of you sort of forget, and then you don't realise until it's announced just how big a deal it is. And so then my phone went off, and it was the WBBL final, and we're up at the Gabba filming from there, and with Meg Lang and Ian Healy, and my phone's going nuts, and because I usually leave it on because the producer's either texting you about something or what have you. And so I'm trying, and it's just buzzing, and I'm like, what is going on? And I realised it was everyone calling me going, what the hell? I'm like, I know, I forgot. So it was lovely in the sense of, for me, it's massively a reflection of my mum, and she's a single mum. She brought me up, and what she's done, she's very heavily involved in environmental causes. And she's on, numerous committees outside in Chewton or Castlemaine in Victoria, the Box Ironbark Forest Committee and Land Care and connecting country. She's still involved heavily with them about, just making sure that we're looking after this one earth that we have, the only one we have. And she's just a magically beautiful person. So for me, a lot of it was just a reflection of her.
Yeah, kudos to your mum, and amazing to see both yourself and Belinda Clark now, in the forefront of Australian cricket. So, it all works out.
No, the woman that just yelled at me on the cricket ground for most of my career. So, Clarky, if you're listening, thanks for yelling at me and keeping me on track. We did call her Cranky Clark. It's like Alan Border. I don't know what he's with Australian captain. I'm going to have a little bit of crankiness about it.
It's an Australian captain DNA.
Yeah, a magnificent individual.
We're going to end this chat with a rapid round, if that's okay with you. So I've got about 9 questions. I'm
slightly nervous now. The rest of it was all very easy.
To be honest. It's pretty simple.
You're asking the questions.
Who's your favorite cricketer right now, male or female? It doesn't matter.
Aaron Finch.
And
wow. What could I'm going to give one from the men's and one from the women's side. Don't
it's up to you. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. So Aaron Finch from the men's. This is going to be awful because I'm not going to mention an Australian. I should mention Australian, shouldn't I? I do. I enjoy watching Smriti Mandana play. Classical left-hander. And one of the beautiful. This is fast round. Sorry, I've gone off in the story. Go. Smriti Mandana and Aaron Finch. Go. Next.
All right. Who's the most annoying teammate when you were playing?
Oh, Julia Price.
No,
horrendous.
I actually met Julia at the Fairbreak Global. She was commentating there as well, so I'll let her know that she was the most.
Yeah, look, she's my best mate, so she'll expect that.
And who's the funniest teammate?
The funniest, well, probably Julia Price. I can't say that as well, can I? You know what? Karen Rolton was funny, but she didn't mean it. So she was just funny because she was just ridiculously good and didn't realise how good she was.
This is Karen Rolton, is it?
Karen Rolton, yeah. She just, she didn't realise she was funny, but we picked on her a lot, but she was fantastic.
3 people you would like to invite for dinner?
Oh, wowzers. Definitely Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Right up there. Maya Angelou, who is a Afro-American
inspirational African-American
author and actor and
everything basically.
Yeah, poet, and she's amazing. So there's 2, and I'd have to have Mum. Got to have Mum.
Did you ever get to meet Nelson Mandela? Or?
I didn't, no, but I spent 3 winters in South Africa doing cricket development and travelled to every province, and then took my cricket club, Essendon Maribyrnong Park, over there in 2013, and we had the World Cup there in 2005. So I've been there on numerous occasions. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Next question is, favorite person to be in the combox with?
Yeah, that's rapid fire, isn't it? I was going to go off on a waffle off. Ian Bishop.
Nice.
Loves the game. Brilliant.
Another West Indian.
Analyst. Yeah, well, and from Trinidad too. So maybe that's a bit biased there, but he's a jet.
This might be slightly controversial for you if you do name them, but favorite WBBL team?
Melbourne Renegades.
Oh, yeah, I'll let Danny talk about that as well.
Wasn't it? Look, I'm very, I hope people think I'm impartial, but a good mate played. So Molly Strano plays with the Renegades. She's at my cricket club. Our cricket club's red and black. And I just mentioned Aaron Finch, so there's a few commonalities there. Yeah.
A place that you would like to visit once things resume to normal?
I haven't had a holiday in a while because you sort of follow the summers. So I was planning on going to the Middle East in April.
Any place in particular?
The plan was to arrive in Egypt, so do the whole pyramid thing, and then go through to Lebanon, Israel, Jordan.
Jordan.
I would have loved Syria, but obviously Syria is off the travel plan at the moment. But yeah, Petra and the food. The history in food for me. That's just key to any kind of travel.
That's number 1 on my wife's list as well. Jordan. She wants to go.
Really? Yeah. Right. Well, when things open up, we're going. Here we go. We'll double date.
You've already mentioned this, but who was your inspiration growing up?
Look, different people. Sharon Treadray for me. So Tread played in four World Cups for Australia. She was inducted into the Australian Hall of Fame this year, the Australian Cricket Awards. So this year? What year are we in? 20. So last year?
Yeah.
No, it was this year. This is how quickly the year's gone. It was this year. And just a magnificent all-round cricketer, fast bowler, just classical shots. So, yeah, as a cricketer, her and Viv Richards.
And one message to young females that are taking up the game of cricket. Or considering taking up the game of cricket.
Yeah. Do everything in the game. Don't pigeonhole yourself, and play a lot of other sports as well. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Australia, is that you have this opportunity of, just doing as many things as you possibly can. So, you look at the best cricketers in the world, male or female at the moment, and most of them grew up either playing hockey and football or basketball and, a variety of things. So, if you want to be the very best in anything, just have a dabble in as many things as you can.
One of the beauty of Australia as well, we've got so many sports to choose from, so can get
it's a pretty good country.
Participate in anything. Thank you so much, Mel, for your time on Saturday. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Sorry, that was supposed to be fast man, and I waffled.
Oh, that's all right. I've been trying to get a hold of you for the last year and a half, so I'm very, very happy and privileged to have you on Around the Wicket. All the best for the current season whenever it starts off, and the board role as well. You've got your hands full, I know. And enjoy your weekend, and hopefully chat soon.
I will. And if I can, look, congrats to you as well. This is the wonderful world of cricket, isn't it, where people love the game and can do some positive things. So for you and, Around the Wicket, thanks for, chatting to people and letting people into the game in a variety of different ways. So, yeah, keep up the good work.
Really appreciate it, Mel. Thank you very much. Take care.